Hey dumplings, it's David Desai. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to get into Jimin and wished him a speedy recovery, and some fans requesting or demanding that Jimin leave BTS for a bit and what happened there. I also want to get into Suga getting mocked publicly at an event and what happened there. So hater or not, make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell on. Grab your dumpling, tea spilling mug merch, and let's get into it. So the first thing that I wanted to get into and talk about is Suga, but I need to go back a little bit. I do want to preface why I'm talking about this. I think it's important to take a look at how Asians in the media have been treated before and after the Stop Asian Hate, and if there is even a difference. Some of the biggest population in America are people who don't want Asians to be here, and I'm sure this video won't find any of those people, but I think it still needs to be addressed. And all of this is going to make sense once I get into it. Suga was at a Dodgers game a little while back, and he ended up meeting with a bunch of the players and just getting a very VIP experience. BTS was still very popular at this time, and a lot of people in Korea and some in America knew who BTS was. This was way back after Boy With Love and Idol, so they were well known in the States to a certain extent. This was before the pandemic. And we all know that Suga loves going to sporting events, and it seemed like he is into a lot of sports. Dodgers is baseball, if you didn't know, and they're based in LA. And Suga has been to wrestling matches and things like that as well. I think it was. This is referencing an Instagram photo he posted. But basically, I'm saying all that because he is a fan. This isn't like something he just watches to seem cool or whatever. He enjoys sports and watching them. And he has idols that he idolizes that are sports players. So it hurts me to the core that the community he is a part of can be so rude to him because there's a bunch of really toxic men that decide Asian man can't or are not allowed to enjoy sports. Because what had happened was during the Dodgers game, the Twitter account decided to post a photo of Suga making his appearance. This was fine, but the comments were not it. Did not pass the vibe check. One of the tweets was like, "Never heard of her," inferring Suga is a girl, or just another rich Chinese kid, which I have to say that genuinely bothers me. Aside from the obvious that Suga is not Chinese, but the implication here is that a Chinese rich kid is not impressive. Is that not what every American aspires to be, a rich kid, or that your own kid becomes rich and successful? So if Suga was a Chinese rich kid, how did that somehow try to make that into an insult and use that to attack him? Being rich, being successful, this goes to show how deep the oppression ran. No matter how successful or rich or whatever you are, as long as you're Asian, they will find something to insult you for. Because all Suga did was appear at a Dodgers game. As I said, this was before the pandemic, so there was no "he bought COVID over here," and there were still people saying that Asian people don't get racist remarks thrown at them to this day. Another remark that was just so upsetting was when they asked why he was wearing a mask and that he must be sick or something, because at this time, obviously masks weren't invented in America. Sarcasm. But it also shows how uncultured these people are, that they had no idea that literally so many places were already wearing masks. Like in Hong Kong or China, the airport people all wear masks for as long as I know, because coming in from international waters, airport security in places like Korea, Hong Kong, and China greets these visitors with masks, and they don't want to get those visitors sick or spread germs from their own country to new visitors. It's rude. At the time, you can't force visitors to wear masks, so they just wear one themselves. So for example, if Suga was coming from Korea, there'd obviously be different germs from different countries. You don't know what someone else's immune system is like from another country, or if they've been exposed to a specific germ to build up immunity to it. You don't want to give it to them. Also, we live in a country where some people choose not to get vaccinated. So for example, I don't want to give them potentially what I have. Most international people know this, and so they wear a mask. It's for consideration and respect. Coming into another country and not bringing in your germs. I'd love to say a lot has changed since Stop Asian Hate, but has it? People say COVID was the only thing that made people hate Asians, but we've seen BTS get racist remarks thrown at them before COVID and still now. So was it COVID, or did COVID just make it more obvious? It's unfortunate that several BTS members have tested positive. Obviously, they couldn't help it, and they didn't purposely get it. No one wants this. But it does then give those racist people more ammo to be like, look, they are actually sick. And then there's the stereotype that if you get COVID, you didn't take proper precautions. It's just not true. This new variant is very unexpected. But those comments you will simply have to ignore because we are sitting here wishing and praying for Jimin's full recovery. If you aren't aware, news kind of broke out in the middle of the night for me that Jimin was admitted to the hospital for a ruptured appendix and COVID. He was admitted for the appendix, but they also found out he had COVID, which is probably just a shock to the immune system. People have been so concerned for him, as you can imagine. It seems like things for a lot of people lately aren't just one thing. It seems like several things happen all together, and it can be very tough to deal with. I wish I had a sponsor or a service you guys can use if you need support in these times, but there is a crisis hotline which I will put on screen, and if you're in a medical emergency, just call 911 or 119, whatever it is in your country. The internet and army ended up flooding Weverse with comments, and Jimin is maybe sitting there and reading it. I hope he is, and I hope he is happy right now. People were wondering about the future of BTS. When Suga had his surgery, there was concern if he would ever be able to be back and dance with the rest of the boys, or would he sit out for future performances? And then we had a bit of a scare multiple times with Jin and the military service. All of these things, yet the boys somehow still end up together as one and still remain 7, which is so beautiful. And you can definitely take this as a sign of how strong they are, that no matter the obstacle, they still choose to be together. And even though any of these situations could have been an easy out for them if they really wanted to be a solo artist. One of the things that people were concerned about when Jimin was in the hospital was the concert that was supposed to happen in Seoul. The concert, I believe, is supposed to happen in the beginning of March, meaning they're probably going to go and do rehearsals mid-February, and that's me just guessing, really. I don't think personally they'd need like a month to rehearse. They know the songs, they're not new songs, they just have to get ready and prepare on how to do the choreography on a new stage. However, rehearsals can easily also be an entire month, and they could take the entirety of February. So there was a concern that Jimin wouldn't make those rehearsals, and if Jimin would be dancing in the Seoul concert at all. And some even say that Jimin shouldn't and he should just leave for a little bit, but I don't know how I feel about that. People were heartbroken over this idea that Jimin would just sit on a chair during the show, or that BTS would just cancel the concert. I think it is that they would have Jimin sit on a chair if they were to do the concert, because I don't want Jimin to strain himself trying to relearn the dances and all that. No matter how serious the surgery is or not, the body goes through trauma. You're literally being stabbed by a knife and something is being taken out of you. You may or may not feel the entire pain, but your body does. It knows something is wrong, and in that time you're most susceptible to infections, and there's a lot going on in your body. For him to just take a week or two where the body may not even be fully healed and just go right into rehearsal, this is not great. But also going right into rehearsal after having COVID, that's not good either. And then just the fact that cases of COVID aren't exactly doing amazing in Korea right now. This is all stuff that makes me concerned. I don't know if everyone is going to hate me for saying this, but I just feel they should cancel. I know it's not the best answer or the answer everyone would hope for, but I think safety is more important, and to be honest, I don't think concerts should be happening. It doesn't mean if it's open I'm not going to want to go. Obviously I would want to go. I just know that there's risks. I don't judge anyone for going, and if Seoul was close by me, I would probably be trying to get tickets and go too. But it's just like, wouldn't you rather see BTS when you know it's safer and when you know that all the members, including Jimin, are going to be able to give their 100% on stage? I felt really bad when RM did a speech at the SoFi concert and talked about how some people were saying that as he gets older, he wouldn't be able to perform anymore. And he took that to heart, and he started working out and making sure that he could perform as well as before, and proving those people wrong. And I felt bad because I was one of those people that was saying that BTS can't or won't be able to dance like they do when they're 50. But what I meant was, should they? You can do anything, but should you? Like, should Jimin be dancing while still recovering? Should you, when you're 40 or 50, be rehearsing for 90 hours a week and dancing this way? If you can, and it's healthy and it's possible for you, go for it. I just really don't want any of the members get more injured or hurt themselves. While Jimin in the hospital wasn't a dancing related injury, it's still painful to hear that the boys are human and they will likely go through all the body changes that we have or will go through. Let me know what you think, and if you want to see more K-pop reaction videos, go to my Patreon, link below. I can't post them here due to copyright, but you can get all sorts of reaction videos and requests. It's a great way to support the channel even more if you want to. Thank you so much for this lovely comment right here. I love you so much. There'll be some videos that will pop up on screen, and I will see you over there. Bye.